The Democrats have the ultimate super PAC. It's called the mainstream media.
Interesting. Now, to those of us who either lived or still reside in Colorado, those eyebrows were way up when the idea of having a Republican debate in Boulder came up. That would be one of the last places you would think the right has any traction. But there they were, the Republican presidential candidates in the land of liberal ease and pot brownies. More than what they said, were they able to find any Republicans in Colorado? Add to that a whole lot more as we bring you this edition of Around the Dial. So let's go ahead and get the home court edge here, if you will. From 630 KHOW in Denver, Colorado, 840 WHAS in Louisville, Kentucky on weekdays, Mandy Connell joins us. Mandy, there's the first question. How'd you find 10 Republicans in Colorado?
You know what's funny is, especially in Boulder, we like to refer to it as the People's Republic of Boulder. And I believe they have meetings in a small coffee shop like once a week because there's such a small handful. But the ones that are there, I thought they were pretty vocal with their opinions last night about the moderator questioning that was going on of the candidates. It was a pretty loud crowd, all things considered.
Let's touch on that then, because the crowd seemed to catch it very early that some of the questions being asked were simply just ridiculous. And I think that that was interesting. Finally, we're seeing the crowds get involved. We haven't really seen that a lot at these debates. So this was a lot livelier than the first two, I think.
It was very much a lot livelier. And I think the reason it was so much livelier is because the candidates themselves were livelier. I mean, when they started out the questioning with, what is your weakness? Way to start, CNBC. Go in right for the, how bad do you stink? Should have been the question. But the candidates kind of came back and they were glib and they were funny. I thought Mike Huckabee's response was very funny. And it sort of set a different kind of tone than the other debates were. And then once the CNBC moderators took off their masks of credibility, as I'll call them, and dropped them to the ground, it was like all bets are off. That sound you heard were the gloves hitting the ground. Only this time they weren't fighting with each other so much as just saying, you know what, enough is enough. We're not going to put up with this. I
got about 90 seconds, a couple of quick things. How did the crowd react, and what was the opinion of Donald Trump? He came in as the guy who's been running the show for several months.
I don't think Donald Trump hurt himself last night. I think Marco Rubio crushed it last night. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't look at this debate as the end of Jeb Bush's campaign, because he came after Marco Rubio, and Marco Rubio basically turned around, punched him in the nose rhetorically, and it was over. But I don't think anybody hurt themselves last night other than Jeb Bush. And boy, howdy did he hurt himself, in my opinion.
By the way, Senator Cruz said he may not be the best drinking buddy, but he will be the designated driver. Of course, if you take him up on his offers, you might need it. Here's what he said in the debate.
We're clearly not having that beer you mentioned, but I'll give you 30 more seconds.
But I'll buy a tequila.
Okay, all right.
Or even some famous Colorado brownies.
I'll give you 30 seconds to respond.
Mandy, I only got 30 seconds left. That was the moment I would think that the people in Colorado would go, wait a minute, I'm voting for that guy.
You know what, though? There's so many people out here who don't smoke pot, and we've come to expect...
No, stop. Yeah. Don't do that. Everybody
true.
thinks that everybody in Colorado smokes dope every day.
I'm sorry, I have to hit my bong before I answer this question, but I'll be right back.
You may have just crushed the entire American ideal of Boulder. Specifically, Mandy, don't do that again. Everybody thinks you're high all the time. Well, it is a mile high, but let's see. When you live there, folks, trust us, you get the joke, and Mandy gets it as well. All right. Mandy Connell. There you go. Mandy Connell, 630 KHOW in Denver and 840 WHAS in Louisville. We thank you for joining us.